Hi, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here to bring you your April 2024 mid-month general reading. We're looking roughly at the last half of April, and this reading is for our beautiful bulls, the earth sign of Taurus. I hope everyone's doing well. As always, thank you for taking the time to be here to watch these videos. So Taurus, last half of April 2024 for you. If your sun, moon, rising, or Venus sign is in Taurus, if you're cross-watching for a Taurus, it's all relevant. As a general reading, of course, it may resonate a little differently for everyone. So it's always a good idea if you know any or all of your sign placements, sun, moon, rising, Venus, watching those for additional insight and perspective is always a good idea. Particularly those of you who may be on the cusp of two different signs, watching both those signs can be helpful. Now, if you find that something does resonate with you, it really hits home, you'd like to maybe take a deeper look at it and reach out for a personal reading with me for yourself or as a gift for someone else, please feel free to email me directly at maggie1maguire@gmail.com. You can see that contact info by clicking the description link or the title of this video. I would love to hear from you. I can usually get back to you the same day or within 24 hours with more information. I do offer a pretty wide variety of readings in all areas of life, different types, lengths, styles, budgets, spreads. There's something in there for everyone, I think. And I'm pretty diligent about timely scheduling too, if that's important to you. So email me if you're interested. Okay, Taurus, let's see what the last half of April looks like for you. I am using, for those of you who want to know, I'm using the Royal Deluxe Tarot, clarifying with the Gilded Tarot, both decks by artist Cyril Marchetti. We begin with the Moon card. A little uncertainty, perhaps a little lack of clarity. There might be some deep-seated fears that might be rolling around. With the Ten of Cups, traditionally the happy home, happily ever after, coming full circle energy, particularly in regards to home, family, marriage, children. So tens in the tarot represent a cycle completion or conclusion or coming full circle, right? So the Ten of Cups kind of represents, being at that place, particular home and family is concerned, whatever that means to you, where you feel like everything is just connected, right? Everything's in its proper place. Everything is good. It's the white picket fence happily ever after card. I actually like this combination with the moon, Taurus, because it represents that some of you, at least, are kind of ready to deal with some emotions around something. I mean, it's generally a positive combination. It represents that you're willing to face something. You're ready to deal with your emotions about something, even though you may have some doubts or some fears. And those fears may be reality-based, they may not be reality-based. Often in the moon, by the light of the moon, things are a bit distorted and not as clear. So there may be some fears or stresses, but it feels like a lot of you are kind of ready to face something here. Next, we have the Emperor, big boss energy here, ambition, dedication, discipline, taking responsibility, taking charge. With the Page of Coins, incoming messages. This is also a start of the pages always have that student apprentice kind of energy. The Page of Coins or Pentacles, the Page of Earth, is very diligent and persevering as well as he's starting on a new path of knowledge. This could represent kind of bumping up into leadership position here. Taking charge of something or someone coming into your life. The Emperor and the Page of Coins is kind of like a rising new leader kind of energy. Definitely kind of a bossing up sort of energy. Next, we have the World, cycle completion, cycle conclusion. The World is the last major arcana card on the tarot. The first one is the Fool, the last one is the World. And all the cards in between them tell a story, a cycle. And we go through many cycles of the tarot. It represents a chapter or a set of chapters in our life that are significant as we reach and pass different milestones in our life. So the World represents the conclusion of a cycle. with temperance, balance, moderation, learning how to shift and adjust without losing your center, losing your balance. So it represents that you've achieved something. There's some kind of victory here, or you're moving on and up, graduating to something new. Balance and moderation is the key to maintaining that. From the bottom of the deck, the overall theme and focus, Taurus, for the last half of April, is the Wheel of Fortune. Divine timing and orchestration is at play here. It also represents change. I have to say, out of 7 cards, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them are major arcana. So this is, for most of you, probably a pretty significant time here. It feels like you're ending a cycle, even though you may have some doubts or some reservations about it. You may be taking charge or taking the lead of something. For some of you, it may be that somebody else is coming in to take over, to take charge so that you can move on. It may be work or project related. You may be moving on to something else or retiring or something of that sort. Let's take a look. There's actually, for some of you, quite a strong retirement energy or a moving on energy and letting somebody else kind of take the reins because you're moving on to something else. Let's take a look at that Wheel of Fortune. And that could be retiring, meaning not working anymore, or moving, or simply just moving on to something else somewhere else. Wheel of Fortune. Two of Wands, a choice of action. Temperance, again, balance, moderation, adjusting. So there's change coming in, and Spirit with it, Spirit is presenting you a choice of, so a choice that could potentially represent temperance, particularly if there's been some area in your life, whether it's work or whether it's personal, that has been out of balance or that you've struggled to maintain a balance with. We have temperance twice here, and in the initial spread, temperance comes with the World, which represents kind of you've reached a certain pinnacle. Balance and moderation is the key, moving on to kind of maintain that. There's a choice of action here as to whether you do that or how you do that. Let's take a look at that Moon and the Ten of Cups. The King of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. The Devil, perhaps some unhealthy or even toxic cycles here. The Ten of Cups again. Justice. What is the right thing to do here? Right. So there's a choice. You have 2 paths in front of you. It feels here like for a minute you're struggling with what the right thing is to do. The Devil indicates some kind of cycle or pattern that has become unhealthy or even toxic. I mean, this is a general reading, so the intensity will vary. It looks like it's something that's affecting the home and family. Now, because there's so many major arcana cards here, and it's a general reading, you can interpret it a few different ways depending on how it resonates with those of you who are watching. The whole issue could be about relationship itself, which would represent what are we going to do about this, long-term relationship or long-term marriage? Is it time to go our separate ways? It could be in, work or career. Something it feels that something has been out of balance and it feels like it's cyclical. And you have a choice as to how you deal with it or whether you walk away from it. Again, regardless of how the little details resonate for you. But here you're not entirely sure what to do or what the right thing is to do. Let's take a look at the Emperor and the Page of Coins. This energy doesn't last very long because it feels like you boss up or someone comes in to take over, particularly if it's a work career thing. And there's a sense here of kind of bringing something to a conclusion and moving on. So the Emperor and the Page of Coins, we have the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory, triumph, success after a challenge, after a battle. The World, again, it's quite clear that there's some kind of, major milestone or pinnacle that you've reached successfully. For some of you, I'm getting quite a strong feeling of career or work or something that falls under that earth energy umbrella. And you're like, maybe this is the time to let somebody else take over. Maybe it's time for me to move on here. Again, whether it's work or career or whether it's something personal, it feels like for the last little while, Taurus, you've increasingly struggled. It's been an increasingly more challenging job to kind of balance things, to kind of manage things without feeling like you're losing balance. You're getting pulled over here or pulled over there or pulled in other different ways. The Knight of Swords, our action-oriented, decisive, very assertive knight. For some of you, particularly in work and career, it might be the opposite. It might be that you're being called or feeling compelled to come into a situation that is in disarray or out of balance, or that it's out of control or something, and you're being called in kind of a leveling up, big boss kind of energy to balance things out, right? Because you have the experience and the discipline and the leadership abilities to do that, and so you're doing that. It just feels like here for a short period of time, there's doubt as to whether you can do it, whether you should do it, or how you can do that. Because for those of you for whom that resonates, the World and Temperance represents that you've reached a certain level, particularly in work and career projects, something of that sort. But in order to maintain that, you're going to have to really practice balance and moderation, meaning not, staying in the center of that seesaw and teeter-totter and not letting the things that begin that you have no control over, things that come in that you have no control over, kind of pull you one way or the other. It's quite clear here that there is or has been a situation that isn't healthy, and either you're the one that says, I'm going to turn this over to somebody else and move on, or it's a situation where you're being called to level up to deal with it. Let's take a look at that World and Temperance. I mean, from a relationship point of view, this could be about a relationship, a long-term relationship or marriage, and maybe the dissolving of that. But, I'm not feeling very strongly about that energy. Feels like for many of you, it's more in the work career area. The Ten of Cups has shown up twice because it looks like it has an effect on you. And for those of you who are considering leaving, retiring, or moving on for someone, for something, it would affect home and family. For those of you who are considering taking on a bigger role, again, that would, likely affect home and family, or that would be a consideration because you're thinking about work-life balance here. Let's take a look at that World and Temperance. Ten of Pentacles and Death, yeah. Endings. Change, rebirth, long-term security and stability. This in and of itself represents the end of one cycle, the dissolving of something. Feels like many of you perhaps are moving on to something else. The Seven of Cups, considering multiple options and opportunities, the best and brightest of the possibility and potential that's out there. I think some of you, it feels like you're retiring or doing something similar to that. Maybe leaving a company or a career in kind of a major way just to go out and explore. Let's end with advice, guidance, feedback from Spirit for Taurus, last half of April 2024. Again, for relationship, this may resonate with some of you for relationship, but I feel it's a smaller portion of you. Okay. Ace of Pentacles. So advice and guidance from and feedback from Spirit. A practical new beginning, new job, new projects, moving, relocating, or a combination of all of that. The High Priestess. Trust your instincts and your intuition, which tells us that you probably, deep down, your gut instinct already knows what is the best path to take here. Six of Swords and Eight of Wands, a path of action, of movement, even of travel, physical movement or travel, physically moving away from something in order to have a new start. Here's another ace, Ace of Wands, Ace of Fire, Ace of Action. So whatever the brand new beginning is, the moving away from something maybe that has been very challenging or difficult, it's validated here. Spirit thinks that also is the best path for you to follow. Free will and free agency, but Spirit is validating a new path is necessary for balance, for healing, and for harmony. All right, Taurus, I'm going to leave it there. Those are your messages for the last half of April 2024. I hope for those of you for whom it resonated, that it was helpful and useful, gave you something to chew on for a bit. If it did resonate with you, if it really hit home, if you'd like to pull the curtains back on it a bit and take a deeper look and reach out for a personal reading with me, either for yourself or as a gift for someone else, again, email me directly, Maggie_McGuire@gmail.com. You can see that contact info by clicking the description or title of this video. I would be delighted to hear from you and to work with you. I will see you all in a couple of weeks for the May general readings. Until then, as always, stay safe, stay well, and I hope to see you back here again soon. Bye-bye.